Out of the 8 billion podcasts that claim to talk about sports, 99% of them talk football and basketball. And that's about it. That's because they don't know about anything else. And they bore you to tears. Welcome to the Sportsocracy, the Ocho, where sports meets comedy, sports analysis, laughs, and the occasional debate that'll likely blow the roof off. We're rowdy and loud and bringing the party straight to your ears.
The party has arrived.
And by the way, you don't have to be a sports fan to like this show, because we're pretty damned awesome, even when we're not talking sports. From baseball to hockey to wrestling to the UFC and beyond, we love it, and we're talking about it. And now your hosts, Armchair, hailing from Canada. He's a sports encyclopedia. And Dubs, the quintessential masshole who's always down for some lively banter and a little bit of the green stuff. And we're not talking about the outfield grass. Let's rock this. This is the Sportsocracy, the Ocho.
Yo, it's a special edition of the Sportsocracy, the Ocho. I am, of course, Armchair. Happy to be joined once again, as always, by Dubs. What's going on, Dubs?
Braving through an ice storm right now. Quick weatherman rant. Everyone knows this. You can just be horrifically wrong at your job and get right back on air the next day and be like, it's going to snow. There's a wide range of how much snow we're supposed to get. By the way, it's April. You live in Canada. Is it snowing where you are?
So it's not, but the weatherman here said we could get. So
see the problem?
We measure snow in centimeters because metric system.
Right.
And the weatherman today told us, hey,
kilometers are dumb.
5 centimeters to 20 centimeters. So like we could have no snow or a lot of snow or anything in between.
Or a very average amount of snow.
It's a lot. That's a big range. It's just
right.
a big
That's
range.
what they're telling us too. Like anywhere from just south of me to like just north of me is between like 3 feet and 4 inches. And it's like
2 feet.
Really? What do you
1 to 41?
How are we supposed to figure that out? Yeah, thank you. That's what they tell you in New England. It's like, I don't know. And then, like, how can you just have that job? It's got to be the best job in the world. You just go out there and bullshit constantly. You can be wrong all the time. Weathermen, politicians. You just
might rain.
Yeah, might rain, might snow, might be sunny.
The best part is you get to claim all the good weather. And when bad weather happens, you're just like, global warming, you know.
And you look like a superstar all through the summer. You're like, hey, 80 and sunny again. Bet you'll love me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
The last time that we had this wide range, they prepared us for fucking Snowmageddon, and it was nothing. It was like 3 inches. We like had prepared to shut work down, everything, and then nope.
Nah. Yeah.
Light dusting.
It is a pretty special edition of the Ocho today. There's a rare instance that's going to happen here. So on the Ocho, we talk about everything but the NFL and the NBA. And that's because, of course, the Sportsocracy covers those things in depth. Jeremy and Tank do an incredible job on the main channel. But today there was no show. And there was breaking news. And I'm not doing the who's going to break the news. Tank little shimmy. I just did it. We did it. So for the first time ever in the history of Ocho, Dubs is going to go. That's not the first.
I got
time
the
happens all
anonymous.
the time. You got the anonymous background.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit of NFL because holy shit, there was a bit of a trade today. Stefon Diggs. No longer a Buffalo Bill. Stefon Diggs is now a member of the Houston Texans, the suddenly loaded Houston Texans.
Hey, have an off season, right?
Let me ask you, if I were to tell you you could get Stefon Diggs, all you have to do is give me draft picks. What is the starting number round draft pick you would think you would have to offer to get that?
You would think a 1.
You would think probably a 1. At the very least, a 2 in the
Most
current.
receptions in the NFL over the last 4 years.
He's only got like 644 something targets over the 4 years with Josh Allen. It's not like he's got, any sort of talent or anything. Just top 5 wide receiver in the league. A little bit of a diva, but show me a wide receiver that isn't a diva, and I'll show you a guy that isn't going to be a top 5 wide receiver in the league.
So the Bills got a 2025 second round pick from the Vikings, a 2024 sixth round pick, which is number 189 overall, and a 2025 fifth. The Texans got that pick when they traded their 2024 first to Minnesota last month.
That's not good.
No, that's not a good haul, dude.
That's not good comp. And it
leaves you with nothing, but we'll get to that.
Join the Discord. I had to kick someone out of the Discord earlier today. Delusional Bills fans. Every Bills fan that has talked about this has always said the same thing, which is, hey, more things coming in the background.
It's coming. This is a first of many.
Let me tell you something from a fan of a team that has been the top of the division for 20-something years. No, it's not. It's not coming. This is the start of an awful time. Phillip Rivers 2.0 is doomed, a.k.a. Josh Allen. Like, nonstop comparison there. I don't know what he's going to do. Do you have the list of their wide receiver room right now? This is amazing. It is.
I can pull it up, but I know their leading receiver from like who was there last year is Khalil Shakir.
Khalil Shakir is there.
He's there. If it were to start today, he would be their number 1 receiver on their depth chart. Khalil
Mac
Shakir,
Hollins.
Curtis Samuel, Mac Hollins, Andy Isabella, KJ Hamler, somebody named Justin Shorter. One Tyrell Shavers and Brian Thompson, which is
so your leading receiver had 600 yards last year, and granted, I think Buffalo has a better opportunity to run the ball more, which they should have been doing anyway.
Going to run 3 tight ends.
I don't understand all of it.
Good shout, Joyner.
Yeah,
they're all connected.
It's all connected.
Behind something.
Just blame Diddy.
Dotting the pieces together like Charlie Kelly.
Toothy says Shakir has potential, but he's not prepared to be thrown to number 1. I'm going to stop you right there. Shakir is a slot receiver. Shakir is not a 1. Shakir has potential to be relevant in fantasy football. Shakir has potential to score some tutties. He's not your 1. He's not your 1. He's your X or Y. He's your slot guy.
And that's the best you got on the roster. That's
a complimentary
3
guy
at best. The rest of those guys are 4s, 5s, 6s, and 12s.
Which means they're like 2s on the Patriots. I'm just going to put that out there. Our receiving course sucks.
Who's worse? Right now, it's got to be the Bills.
It's the Bills over us, barely.
They gave the tight ends though, which
I don't want to listen.
The Bills are going to carry a dead money charge of $31.1 million next year after trading Diggs. That's the highest dead money ever for a wide receiver, ever.
I just don't understand the benefit to Buffalo. Let's talk about this from the Buffalo side first, and then we can get to how explosive Houston looks.
Yep.
And I know that our ESPN draft nerd, Mr. Green himself, absolutely has a lean on this. But I think that on the Bill side, this is a bad trade. It was a cap shedding trade, and people talk about, they needed to shed cap. They needed salary cap space. No, you don't. Not really. I mean, you do. No, you don't. It's all made up. Have you not seen teams play with like 40-something million over the cap? To me, this felt like you lost Gabe Davis. You still had Diggs. Could you not have gotten a second this year? Like that was your best offer was
draft class.
Your best offer was a second next year. And I heard once again in the Discord the nonsense of next year's draft class is pretty loaded for wide receivers. Sure. The second round when Minnesota's picking, you're gonna tank for the year, and you're just gonna waste the year of Josh Allen and hope that the Minnesota pick is bad. You hope that it's so bad that it's close enough to a first. That's where we are. That's what we're gonna go with Buffalo. That's Buffalo.
You go from battling the Chiefs, making that run at the end of the season, becoming like, oh shit, maybe the Bills are gonna do it, just like we do every single season. To all right, fuck it, let's blow it up. Hit the reset button. This isn't working.
It's bad. It's not a good.
How long until Sean McDermott goes?
Not long enough. He's still going to be there. He's going to survive this. Listen, that man survived
this year.
That man survived the terrorists' comment. I don't know how he's not going to survive this.
Got the people going.
He got the people. He got them riled up. You just got to work together like the terrorists did.
Smashing your hands on the desk when you talk a lot. Getting real loud.
Which is what he said. Actually said they worked as a team. And
unit together, glue. Sean McDermott, confirmed glue guy.
Yeah, confirmed glue guy. Real jam guy. If you're a hockey fan, you'll get that. So yeah, from the Houston side.
Before that, do you think the social media comments had anything to do with this, or was it happening anyway?
No, it was happening anyway.
I agree. The GM declined to say if he asked for a trade or not, which
I think
if he didn't, you would say no.
Okay, so do you know why he asked for a trade? Do you want to know why I think he asked for a trade? Because I don't know. I'm not pretending that I'm in the room.
I think he's a diva receiver, and he was mad in Buffalo because he's not winning.
I think that Buffalo had the opportunity to win games, and they didn't.
Yep.
They had no close. Nothing. No finish. No jam.
Need more
all
glue.
The talk. So all that defense that was like vaunted good, excellent. All that to lose to Mahomes.
I mean, they all got hurt, but
sure, but like they could have done more.
I hear you.
They could have run the ball more often. They could have won more games more often. And when they were winning, they weren't getting on the ball. They were like, "We got to go away from you," and he didn't like that. So I think that he was like, "Look, I don't see a future in this team." And the team that they sent him to.
Why send him there? Anywhere else? I mean, granted, it's not in division, but if you end up making a run in the near future, you're probably going to end up seeing the Houston Texans. That team is loaded. CJ Stroud was fantastic last season. He's going into his second year. And they got D'Amico Ryan. Like the team is fantastic. They're so far ahead of schedule that they're actually a contender. And now this just puts them over the edge even more. They've still got Tank Dell coming back from injury. They got the best out of Nico Collins last year. Now you add Stefon Diggs. Remember all these quarterbacks are like, oh, go get him a number one receiver. Like A.J. Brown with the Eagles. They're talking about doing that with Justin Fields and DJ Moore. They're doing it, but they didn't need to. They don't need that quarterback to take that next step like those other franchises did. CJ Stroud's already there. They just added, statistically, he's been the best receiver in the NFL the last 4 years.
Do you remember when Diggs arrived in Buffalo and how good he was?
He was fantastic. He was going over the top. It was like, oh, Allen to Diggs. Like it was unstoppable. Yeah.
Houston wins this division from now on, right? Like
easy.
Like, I don't know if for a while it looked like this was going to be Jacksonville's division, and now I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
they had a future Russell Wilson level cucking of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So,
franchise.
Nico Collins, solid. Not great, but solid, okay? Tank Dell, top guy. They've got John Mechie, who gets forgotten in this, coming back from his treatments. If he's healthy again, I mean, he was incredible when he was at Alabama. Then he had a little.
It looked like a steal in the draft, and then
a little bit of cancer, had to get rid of it. He's got the all clear, I think, right now. Diggs, is Robert Woods still there? Dalton Schultz, unreal, man. Noah Brown. Tank Dell, like it's just good. And this is a good point here by Joyner. Diggs saying Diggs better not mess with CJ's development. He's great, but don't need to see CJ force him 10 passes a game because he's a bigger name.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see that from Stroud.
I don't think so either. The problem, it is a Stefon Diggs problem. He needs to check the ego a little bit and be like, all right, I want to win. You're still the number one on this team, but he's still the one.
It's easier to check the ego. It's easier to check the ego when you've got a clear path to an AFC championship game where you're clearly going to be a betting favorite talent-wise. Unless someone steals in the draft, I don't see what Buffalo does to make this better. I don't see what Buffalo does.
I mean, they lost they had to get rid of so much cap. And
Joe Mixon, doing backflips today.
Oh, yeah. You leave the Bengals, you go to the Texans, you're like, all right, still got a chance here. Now you bring in Stefon Diggs, you're like, oh, fuck, we're a wagon.
We are a wagon. There's a little bit of a side. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes so everybody can leave that wanted to leave. I'm kidding. Don't leave. Stay, please. We love you.
How many fake posts did you fall for over the April Fool's last
0?
Days
you know
here?
Why? I don't believe in internet news anymore.
Fair play. There was a couple that I was like, oh shit, and then I was like, oh wait, from 2 days ago. Yep, that can't fool me.
You're gonna get got. You can't do it. I try to. April Fool's Day is
the worst.
Objectively, the worst day.
It's
supposed to end by noon. People spend all day coming up. Yeah, people coming up with nonsense like prank things to do, and it's never like get your buddies, go to work and saran wrap on the door frame. That's funny, but I don't. The Vikings released Justin Jefferson. No, they didn't. Stop. Get help. It's unnecessary.
Objectively, it's the worst. I hate April Fools.
It's awful.
So stupid. I never liked it as a kid. It's just dumb.
Do you know what I hate?
What?
Watching my team get no hit.
Yeah.
Houston Astros, the trash can Astros, no hit the Jays.
What do you hate more, getting no hit or the reaction to it?
The reaction to it. We're 6 games in. I think it was quite literally the 6th game on the schedule. And they're a 500 club at this point. And they get no hit. And everybody's talking about how, so-and-so's only got a 125 average, as if he's had, 300 at-bats. And, that's a bad
Well, if your best player is slumping 5 games into the year, you have to bench him, right? It's the Oakland A's tactics.
Just let's go ahead and bench everyone and do it. Awful. The overreaction of baseball fans might be the worst overreaction of all overreaction.
It's the longest season, and every game is life or death.
It's kind of incredible. Because, and just a reminder, teams that lose 100 games still win 31.
Right.
Even the worst teams still win 30, 40, 50 games. So it's not impossible that you win or have a great run. So the
Royals had their worst record in franchise history last year. They had 55 wins.
Yes. So let's pump the brakes on maybe getting super upset about the Jays or about any team getting no hit. If your team's getting no hit, it's not the end of the world. Chill out. Just relax.
Those Astros jerseys are clean.
They are.
I like them. It's the only thing about the Astros I can like. But those jerseys are sick.
What's going on in Oakland? Let's talk
bad shit, dude. So, first of all, they had that paper, that picture of the paper that got released, right? You saw that? I think Lily posted it in the Discord.
So look, paper that got posted was retail instructions for someone who's wandering or working the grounds, working in the Coliseum. I don't think that's bad. I think that's just good management. I think from a inside the stadium manager. I think it's bad that the team is in a position where they have to have a item of the day or whatever the heck they call it. It's the denim jacket. The new jerseys are these jerseys. You take the rest off.
Right.
It's bad. It's a
It
bad
doesn't look good. And off the back of that, the A's sent down, is it Esturi
I think so.
Ruiz? But they call him Esty, so that's what I'm going to say. But Ruiz began his year in Oakland batting .429. He had an .857 slugging, and that was all led the team. He had the AL rookie record for steals last year. Got really hot at the end of September, was looking like, okay, this guy might be a player for us. Comes into spring, tearing the cover off the ball, and they send him down. Their reasoning for that was, we saw some better at-bats in the spring. He's coming along, but we want to send him down to AAA to, kind of keep the development going. They also added on to that and said that he wouldn't have made the opening day roster if it weren't for injuries to two other guys. They're still out.
You sure about that?
They're still out, and they sent him down. He's the best player on the team right now. Brent Rooker, who's their best player last year, he's had a horrific start to the season. But 5 games in, as I mentioned earlier, the A's benched him. So they benched him and then sent the other kid down. And then you look at the A's and you're like, well, I guess they're just tanking. They're just a horribly backwards franchise, and this is just what they do. Correct. But there could also be more to this, because the 2 guys that they sent down were wearing wristbands that supported this company or brand, I guess, that was disputing the move to Vegas, trying to very pro Oakland, and used to be part of the really tight knit into the franchise, doing stuff with players and fans, and they made a logo for the A's when they were making a playoff run, and then I guess they basically quickly severed ties and were public enemy number 1. And these dudes are wearing wristbands, best players on the team, and they get fucking booted.
Amazing.
Food for thought.
I just want to point out, I play trumpet. I played in a bunch of different bands. And usually it's funk and soul kind of thing. And I once played a local venue here called the Halifax Forum, which used to do minor hockey.
Halifax.
So for a hockey forum, for a hockey arena, capacity was 6,300, and we had 4,000 people in there, which is 700 more than Oakland had at their last home game.
Yeah. It's 3,500, some change.
Old AC outplaying the Oakland A's. I just want to.
Hell yeah!
You want to put that out there.
Throw that on the tombstone.
Put that in the bio.
Once outsold the Oakland A's.
Yes. Hey, Connor McDavid is on a tear, man. That guy's unreal. 100 assists. How many players do you think had 100 assists? Do you know the answer?
I do know the answer. He's the 4th player in NHL history to have 4 assists or 100 assists. Him, Mario Lemieux, Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky's responsible for 11 of the 13 times a player has had 100 or more assists.
Well, now
Jesus.
14.
Yes. It's kind of ridiculous. He's on a do you remember when we started doing this show and McDavid was having a good time. He was really playing well, but the Oilers sucked.
Yeah, he had 28 points in 15 games, and they had 6 wins.
McDavid at 97 assists currently. Is that where he is?
Yeah, 98, I think.
Okay, which is 15th all time, most all time. That's kind of crazy for a regular season. That's pretty high up there. Other guy that's threatening current most records is Mr. Matthews, who has 62 goals this season. He was on pace for a stupid number. I forget what it was, 80 something, but we knew he wasn't going to get there. They thought 70 was in reach. I don't. He has 8 games left.
Yeah, not anymore.
He has 8 games left, 8 goals to get. Could he get a goal a game or a couple of games with 2? Absolutely. I think he probably ends with
66.
I say 68. Because I'm not giving him the benefit of 69. He doesn't get that number. That's
It'll be funny.
Gronk's reception number. Hey, Gronk, you ended with 69 receptions this year. Nice.
Yeah, nice. Gronk's the best.
It's a great press conference.
Hey, Red Sox, second place, 5-2.
Get out of here.
Hey, who would have
Get outta
thought?
here.
We
Who'd
won't
have-
talk about who we
Look at
played.
us. Look at
But
us.
look at us. Who would have thought? 5-2. Pitching's been fantastic. Jaron Duran looks like prime Jacoby Ellsbury right now. Tristan Cassis needs to learn how to hit off-speed pitching, though, because they've thrown him like 10 fastballs all year, and he's been horrible.
It's I'm happy for you. I am.
Thank you. It's going to come back down to earth because the pitching's been outrageous. Pavetta, Cutter Crawford, and Tanner Houck all have been fantastic so far. The bullpen's been really good. It's got to fizzle back down. I'm prepared for it, but hey, we're looking good right now. Also, Kenley Jansen can go fuck himself.
We'll get to that. We haven't talked there, but we will. We will. I just want to talk about Shota Umogo, who had a great debut after just absolutely incredible game for the Cubbies. I think he only went 6 innings, but he had like 9 Ks.
Yeah, he looked awesome.
He looked real good, real comfortable. Bet the Dodgers wish they deferred $1 billion for that guy instead. He's pitching real well. This is fun. I don't know if you saw this. Do you know what he's talking about?
Was it tonight?
Yeah.
I heard there was a fight off the rip, but I didn't know there was that many ejections. Holy shit!
All right,
I go
Matt
Twitter
Rempe,
right now.
Barclay Goodrow,
I know
Andre
it was
Miller,
Rempe.
Jacob Trouba, all for the Rangers ejected, as well as Curtis McDermott, Chris Tierney, Kevin Ball, and John Marino for the Devils. Who do the Devils have left to play tonight? Who are they going to play?
They don't care. They're done.
I'm just going to watch real quick while we're doing this here.
Sam,
It's
this
just
is
off the rip.
crazy. They just
It's
right
off
off the rip, drop the gloves and fucking go. Love that shit.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
How do you feel about the pre-face-off conversation? Like, let's drop them. It's pretty old school. I'm all right with it.
I'm a big fan of it. I like when it happens. Like, oh fuck, they're ready to go. Like it didn't stem from something out of the moment. Like I think those might be my favorite.
I like them all.
The old school. Like, you want to go? Yeah, I'll go. Let's fucking do it. But when it's the whole line, let's go.
It's the whole line.
That's fucking awesome.
8 guys.
That's how you start a hockey game.
That is. I mean, the place must have been electric.
Oh, electric. Because that's the thing. The building's gonna be on fire the rest of the night. It doesn't matter what happens. It's going to be
Devils and Rangers tally 5 fights within the first two seconds of the game.
Love that.
Also, I was watching earlier. Kucherov is now up to 129 points this season.
Jesus.
Tell me
that's
how that
just
guy's
absurdity.
not the MVP. So I know that Matthews has his high goal numbers, and McDavid is going to threaten.
McKinnon's falling off at the wrong time.
McKinnon has had a rough go of late. McDavid will get there. He'll probably finish second. But, is Kucherov not your MVP?
Yeah,
is he not your Art Ross winner?
He has to be. And without him on that team, the Lightning will be horrific this year.
I'm genuinely scared. So let's get off the lead for a second, unless you got something else you want to toss on there.
We can get to this one later. Let me shout out to Tigers 4-0, Pirates 5-0. Mets are 0-4 and the Marlins are 0-7.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We have a little treat with Pirates and Tigers in a minute here, but I want to talk about this. The NHL playoffs are shaping up. How worried are you to be facing the Lightning in the first round as of right now?
Terrified. They're the team I want to face the least.
Tell me,
if the Bruins end up playing the Lightning the first round, we're out. We're going out in the first round.
Vasilevsky in the playoffs is a whole different beast.
Yep. And all year, all anybody has said is, Vasilevsky's been pretty bad this year. He's not playing like he has been. Not really elite. And all these other goalies have been getting the shine. And as soon as it comes playoff time, again, Kucherov carried them there. Now, game on. Because they know how to win. And they still have a lot of those guys. And like you said, Vasilevsky's going to turn it on.
As of right now, it's Bruins, Lightning.
Yep.
Panthers, Leafs. Rangers, Caps. Hurricanes, Flyers. And in the West, it's Dallas, LA, Colorado, Winnipeg, Vancouver and Nashville, and Edmonton and Vegas, which I don't know. I think I like the West matchups better, like in terms of what's going to be like Ripper game. Like Colorado Winnipeg's going to be Ripper.
Fantastic.
Vancouver Nashville will be really good. Edmonton Vegas will be like huge.
Yep, marquee.
Carolina Philly will be a bloodbath, low scoring, but it'll be a bloodbath. New York and Washington, that'll be fun. And then Toronto and Florida is LOL to me because Toronto can beat Florida, but Florida took them to the brink. Didn't they beat them last time? Anyway.
Yeah, they did.
Boston Tampa is like, it's premium matchup stuff. Like this is like what you want. I want these matchups late rounds. I don't want these early rounds.
I was going to say that about the Edmonton. Like
Edmonton,
you're
Vegas,
really,
the Western Conference.
We're
Finals.
getting robbed of that, right? That's going to be first round. That's tough. But I mean, hey, that's going to get people engaged in the first round, right? Those games are all going to be must see. The Bruins also have to play the Canes, the Panthers, and then the Canes again. So I'm honestly not going to be super upset if we lose those because, again, I don't want to play Tampa. I'd rather play Toronto. Neither are good matchups for us. Like, we're kind of in a tough spot.
Toronto doesn't know what they're doing in their net. That's the thing.
Right. And the defense can be spotty in front of them, but they're always going to score goals. I don't know, man. I'm still always scared of Florida, but we're not going to end up seeing them first round. But I just feel another first round exit coming, and we're going to have some real conversations. Also, Pastrnak, 40 more points than anyone else on the Bruins. Can we not? Can we get some more production?
Like any depth at all?
Any? And like, well, that was like what we're praised for is like depth. And like, yeah, we get it. We get scoring from a lot of guys, but we got no star power on that team outside Pastrnak.
No.
Offensively, at least.
It's an interesting kind of run up. I think that what I'd like to do next week is because we'll have more solid matchups. We're kind of coming into the.
Yep.
I don't remember when the season officially ends.
Playoffs start the 16th, or is it the 20th?
So I mean, yeah, there's a couple, like there's another week games. So it's the 20th. Yeah, the 18th is the last week of games. So next week we should have an idea of where people are lining up. It's going to still be a bit of a battle, but it'll be interesting to kind of see where everybody is lining up. But I'd like to do a fix the eliminated teams. We get to make one move to fix the currently eliminated teams. If you have an eliminated team you think you could fix in one move, share it on socials. It'll be our top of the tops edition for next week. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. Shout out Doyle. Shout out to anyone that's reading. Newsletter available twice a week. Next edition is Friday. Special episode of the Ocho tonight because we have unforgettables on the Ocho.
Yes.
If you don't remember, Dubs and I had a brilliant idea that we never managed to get to fruition because we just don't have time, to be honest with you. The fact that we do this weekly and don't miss episodes is kind of it's a marvel in itself, given our schedules, but here we are. The Unforgettables was a show about guys and gals who you shouldn't forget, but you do forget we're on teams. And tonight, in honor of baseball season, we have two Unforgettables. Dubs.
So mine, because as I mentioned earlier, the Tigers are 4-0, the Pirates are 5-0. I can't remember the time that happened. Both Pirates are awful. I looked it up. The last time the Pirates started 5-0 was 1983. It's a long time ago.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They were probably in the AL East at that point.
So I wanted to pick somebody who played for both those teams, and this guy jumped off the page to me because I remember him from countless MLB The Shows. Brandon Inge former third baseman, played 11 years with the Tigers, one All-Star appearance, and ended his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates. His last 50 games was pretty much washed at that point, hit under 200. Shout out to the Soul Patch. He looks like he's the lead singer in a Daughtry cover band.
Shout out to Daughtry. Jesus Christ. Oh, well. All right. Go ahead.
Look at that thing. Starting to talk. All right. You got one?
I'm going to give you just a complete, this is just straight up off the rip because I like his name and only his name. It's Wilbur Cooper. He also played one season for the Tigers and 13 seasons for the Pirates. Had a 52.3 WAR with the Pirates.
Damn. I was not familiar with your game, Wilbur.
Yeah, that's because he played forever ago. He had 216 wins. He was not a nobody.
Was he on the team the last time they went 5-0?
I don't think so, but he was absolutely. I mean, look, he had a couple of 20-win seasons, led the league, but he played in the 1900s. His last game was 1926.
Oh boy, okay. He's pitching to plumbers.
He's way out there. Well, he's pitching to Babe Ruth and stuff, man. Let's only Jackie Robinson. Let's just forget. I'm kidding.
I've also got, this is the Ocho, right?
It is.
So I've got a little offbeat story. It is basketball. It's no crazy Nepal sports or anything like that. But there is a basketball game in Ireland that had to be, they replayed the last 0.3 seconds of a quarterfinal. Limerick Sport Eagles beat the Port something Panthers 80-78 on the 23rd of March. But the second tier game finished in controversial fashion, with the Eagles winning points coming from free throws awarded on the final buzzer. The Panthers appealed on the grounds the free throws should not have been allowed, as the clock had expired at the same time that the foul was called. So it's tied, right?
All right.
Kid gets to shoot 2 free throws. Time expires. Tough stuff. It's a tough way to go down. I lost my tab here. There we go. They were initially told by the National League Committee that the result would stand as a referee's decision, cannot be retrospectively overturned. However, they were given the option to appeal in the National Appeals Committee. The NAC ruled the match should be replayed in its entirety, but Basketball Ireland has since said the option to appeal was granted in error. The NLC then ruled the fixture would not be replayed in full, but that the remaining 0.3 seconds should be played. Did not change the outcome.
What a surprise. In a shocking turn of events. Absolutely nothing changed.
Can you imagine getting called back the next day for less than a second of game? I'd be furious.
What was the last 2 minutes? You remember that the reports they issued on referees in NBA games?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, on a different day. Yes.
Yes, it had to go through a council and get appealed and ruled. I don't even think it was the next day. I think it was a few days later. Let me double check that for you.
The last 2 minutes. Can you imagine that? They're like, it looks like you missed 3 fouls, so we're going to have to go back and replay the game from the 1.5 minute mark of the fourth quarter to make it up. We're just going to go fourth quarter and on. Absolutely wild. 0.3. You imagine suiting up for this? What are you doing?
I'd be furious.
All right, lads. Everybody suit up. We're going to play 0.3 seconds.
It looks like it was 2 days later.
That's insanity. That's not
absurd.
Good. That's not a good look.
Get your shit together.
Figure it out. Can you figure it out?
Can you figure it out for me? Your idiot brain, you fucking so stupid.
All right. I think we've come to the time.
Let's do it. Let's talk hockey.
Let's talk some power rankings.
So I got top 16 this week. I've just been doing the playoff seeds. But so number 16 this week, we've got the St. Louis Blues. They got a chance. You're saying there's a chance. They still got an outside shot at that last playoff spot. they've got a pretty favorable schedule the rest of the way. They do have to play the Hurricanes in their season finales against Dallas, who you'll see is very hot right now. Blues are just one of those. There's all the few middling teams that are going to end up sneaking into the playoffs, and they could be one of them. But the West is just fucking loaded. 15, the LA Kings, 4-game winning streak, looking good. And then they turned it around in perfect LA Kings fashion this season with a 3-game losing streak. They averaged 2 goals per game on those 3 losses. And that's just what we've seen from them all year. They'll have a few games they start to string together, like, oh shit, there it is. There's those signings, those prospects, and then they can't find the back of the net for fucking 3 weeks.
It's not a good look.
No, it's not. They're getting there, but you have Kopitar and Doughty. You gotta get these prospects together if you want to make another run for Pierre-Luc Dubois. Just
go home.
Is there a bigger waste of money in the NHL this year?
Go home, PLD. Go home.
Number 14, Steven Taz, Washington Capitals. They've dropped 3 straight after they got hot, started making this playoff push. They've still got a couple games in hand on the teams they're vying with for this last spot. But losses to the Bruins and Maple Leafs will not help. They got to get their footing back under them. Number 13, the Tampa Bay Lightning that we mentioned earlier, the Tampa Bay Nikita Kucherovs.
Currently
They're doing it
3-1.
I'm so scared of this team, dude.
They're real good, man.
They're still so good. And everyone forgot about them. We're just like, they're not good anymore. And we did it for a little bit, but we kept going, hey, don't forget. They get to the playoffs, it could be a problem. And now we're here and they're getting hot. Kucherov's probably going to win the Hart.
I gotta ask you a betting question. And I'm asking you because I don't know what this is. And I need you to tell me what this is because it feels like a racist. What's an Asian puck line? Somebody know in chat? You want to say? What's the Asian puck line?
Probably rare.
Tampa Bay Lightning are 0.0 with a 1.625. I don't know what this means.
It's
a racist. It feels like it's a racist.
It doesn't sound good.
Listen, don't do crimes, okay, ladies and gentlemen? Don't do crimes.
I'm a degenerate. I'm betting on all sorts of sports and sorts of countries, but
no Asian puck lines.
No, it hasn't come across my vocabulary.
All right, you keep going. I'm gonna look this up.
Number 12, the Nashville Predators. They were on that 16-0-2 run. They were killing it. That followed that up with a 3-game losing streak where they were outscored 18-8. That run was awesome. I hope it ignited them and they can roll it into the playoffs. But like I said, with the Blues, the West is so loaded. They're going to have to go through juggernauts to do anything. And I don't know. I don't like their odds, but scrappy Nashville Predators team. Good on you. Great making it here, but we'll see you out the door quickly. Number 11, the Winnipeg Jets. They had lost 6 straight. In that span, they were outscored 24-10, but then they got a win against the Kings on Monday. Hopefully, again, another team that needs to get the juices flowing a little bit before they go into the playoffs. We've talked about how talented they are. Neither of us are worried that it's basically been like a month-long skid at this point. I still don't think it's going to affect them super heavily. They've got one of the best home ice advantages in the NHL too, which goes a long way in the playoffs. Could be dangerous. Number 10, the Toronto Maple Leafs, currently losing to the Tampa Bay Lightning, but they have quietly put together a pretty strong run as of late. 7-3-1 in their last 11, and that's without Mitch Marner. Their big problem right now, as we touched on earlier, is we don't really know who's going to play goalie, let alone what kind of play we're going to get from them. And we're getting real close to the playoffs now. We got to figure that the fuck out. Do you want to any information?
The Asian handicap is similar to spread betting. Its primary purpose is to eliminate the possibility of a tie.
Okay.
So it puts a handicap on one of the two teams or players involved, and it can give the underdog team a head start of X amount of goals or takeaway goals from the favorites.
The more you know.
There you go. Listen, we're educational.
Yeah,
Educational episode of the Ocho.
as Toothy said, I don't know what makes that an Asian puck line.
Listen, I'll make the rules. I just read the definitions.
Country
It's
of
probably
origin.
probably some bookie somewhere. Listen, I'm gonna say it's New Jersey based, and it was probably coined.
That'd be an
by some
Italian
mafioso.
puck line.
No, it was coined by some mafioso. Go see like Asian
Oh,
Jim,
I see. I got you.
and he'll give you your puck line. You know, shout out Asian Jim. If you know, you know.
Number 9, the Edmonton Oilers. They've lost 3 of their last 4. Snuck one out against the Ducks in the one win they've had in their last 4. Thatcher Demko still not expected to be back until at least next week. They've got a pretty easy schedule the rest of the way, so it's time to, again, one of these teams.
Yeah.
Got to get going here. We thought you were a juggernaut, wagging all this. They're the best offensive team in the league for most of the season, and it's just gone quiet at the wrong time. Number 7, the Florida Panthers, another team that's struggling right now, 4-8-1 since March 7th. I'm reveling in it. The 5th worst points percentage in that spin. They strike again. Luckily, they're built to play in the playoffs. I'm not as worried about them as other people seem to be. I've seen some people scared online. I don't think you need to be. The Panthers and the Lightning are the 2 teams I'm most scared of in the East. And I understand the Rangers and the Hurricanes are wagons, but it's just what it is. Yeah. Number 6, the Boston Bruins. We've got 2 of our next 3 games against the Hurricanes, like I said, and we got the Panthers jammed on in between there.
It's a bit of a tough schedule.
It's not fun. But again, maybe we want to lose these so we can end up playing Toronto instead of Tampa. But you need a lot of things to go your way. As I touched on, Pasternak, 40 more points than anyone else on the team. Go captain, my captain. Brad, I need you.
Where you at?
Yeah, where are you at, bud? I'm still scared of this team, but if we look good in these next few games, it's a really good precursor to the playoffs, because these are teams you're probably going to end up seeing at some point if you want to make a run. You got to pass the litmus test somehow. Number 5, the Vegas Golden Knights. They're on a heater, Armchair.
They're a wagon.
5 of its last 6, they've gotten people back from injury. It's all starting to fall into place for Vegas. We were worried about them possibly missing the playoffs a couple of weeks ago. They are firmly out of that conversation, and they're about to get Thomas Hertl back. Scary. Nobody wants to see Vegas. Yeah. And again, if Edmonton and Vegas are playing each other in the first round, that's must-see.
It's going to be so good. I can't wait for playoff hockey, man.
And
it's even better for me because I'll have no vested interest. None.
Deciding not to partake this year.
Montreal's decided not to partake for the next couple of years, but we'll be all right.
We'll be back.
Hey, I got to experience a great run when Montreal went to the finals against Tampa, and I've also seen them win a cup, so gotta love it.
Number 4, the Carolina Hurricanes, killing it right now. All the makings of a playoff juggernaut. The goalie tandem is starting to pick it up. That's really the only thing I've worried about with this team. And since Kochetkov and Anderson have returned from injury, they've been on fire. Nobody wants to see the Hurricanes. Aho has 6 goals in his last 5 games. Everything's clicking. Rod the Bod's got the boys going. Number 3, the Colorado Avalanche. Nathan McKinnon has failed to register a point in 2 of his last 3 games, and the Avalanche have lost 3 of their last 4 games.
Yes.
Georgiev got benched the other night for some worrying play.
They'll be fine.
I'm not worried at all. No. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about any of this.
Nope.
The Colorado Avalanche are one of the best teams in the league. They have more star power than 90% of the teams out there.
They're going to be fine.
They're going to be just fine. Georgiev worries me, but they've been just fine with him in net before.
Absolutely.
They made it further with Philip Grubauer. We'll
Yes, they did.
Remember that contract for the Kraken gave him, and everyone was like, "Wow, that's a lot of money." Now he's just sitting there collecting that whole lot of money.
It's fantastic.
Number 2, the Dallas Stars. They are on a heater. Shout out my future on them. They're riding a 7-game winning streak in their most recent 3-0 win against the Kraken. Ottinger just showing why he's one of the best in the league. Finally getting out of that slump that he's been in, battled through injury, poor play, but 5-0 and 0 in his last 5 starts, 1.4 goals against and a 94 save percentage in that span. 17 save shutout against the Kraken the other night, as I said, and 2.65 goals against over the last month. Otter's back. And if he's back playing that way, the Stars are really tough to beat, as evident by their most recent run. And I mean, that team's really good. They still got a ton of stars. The defense is they bolstered it with Tanev at the deadline, and there was already a pretty solid front four. I love this team. I hope they go make me some money. If the Bruins can't win it, I hope it's the Stars. Number 1, the New York Rangers. I wanted to bump them out of first for the Stars just because of my own personal bias, but unlike others, I'm able to put that to the wayside. The Rangers have won 5 of their last 6 games. New York currently sits atop the Metro Division. Carolina's right on their heels, but Rangers were the first to get 50 wins, and with only 1 game remaining against the playoff team, and it's the Flyers, which, like, can we even count them? We can't. Probably going to get the President's Trophy.
Yeah.
Well on their way.
I love, first off, great power rankings. Next week we have MLB power rankings.
Yes, sir.
Not making their debut, but their first in-season power rankings on the Ocho, so I'll have that for you next week. It will be a full power rankings, but we're going to blast through the bottom and not give you a lot of detail about this because we just don't have time for that shit. What makes a team a certified wagon, Dubs? This is a question for the chat. It's a question for anyone before we get to a Stone Stories. I don't know if we have a checklist. So got to have
stars.
Talent. You got to have
Need
like
stars.
big stars, right?
Yeah.
That's number 1. You
Not only
be
on
winning.
the field but off the field. You gotta get people invested.
So you gotta have fandemonium.
Yep.
Gotta have great atmosphere. Your arena has to be loud.
Agreed. Like the Phillies stadium, every single game is electric. It doesn't matter if they're losing. That stadium's going crazy the entire time. You need shit like that.
Yeah, 100%.
An energy, a vibe.
And there needs to be vibes. Need to be high.
They need to be high.
Need to be winning.
Yeah, need success. Obviously,
multiple games in a row, not just
right.
Like,
you got to get You got to get some streaks going. You got to win in dominant fashion. You got to have come from behind victories. You need all types of victories.
So,
because sometimes the moment you know a team is going all the way is when they have like a signature win, like they're down 7 in the 5th and they battled back and won and shit like that.
Yeah,
you need some suspense.
So outside of your own rooting interest,
yep,
which of these playoff wagons are you hitching to right now?
Okay. I'll put the Bruins and the Stars aside.
Yeah. Noted vested interests.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Colorado.
Yeah.
The Knights are right there too. Just because they have so many pieces now, like after the trade deadline and everything. The roster's so loaded.
The only thing that's keeping me from the New York Rangers is that atmosphere. It's the stadium.
Agreed.
It's not as electric as it needs to. Like Carolina could be a wagon that I hitch to. Florida is one.
The Canes have that atmosphere.
Tampa has that atmosphere.
They do.
Tampa Bay, man.
The Oilers have the story. They fired their coach, and if turning it all the way around, it would be McDavid's first cup. Like
huge. It's a tough question. Studs being studs, Toothy says. Absolutely. Need a stud being stud. Can't have your best. Can't have your Pierre-Luc Dubois not scoring.
Also, the Jays have a cheat code though because they have Vladdy and he just is a wagon.
He is a legitimate, actual wagon.
Right. So I think outside of if you have Vladdy Jr., that instant you're a certified wagon.
Toronto's playoff atmosphere for the Jays though, chef's kiss.
Yeah,
it's like one of the loudest things you'll ever hear. You
Joey
got
Bats home run's one of the best clips in baseball history. It's so good. It's so good.
Go watch it. Go watch
Place
it.
goes fucking insane.
Cameras couldn't stay in frame because the building was shaking. And I don't mean that like as like figuratively. I mean they were literally shaking. It was so loud.
One of my best friends was at the Shane Victorino Grand Slam game in the 2013 run, and I'll forever be jealous. Like,
did an episode of my podcast about that.
You did. Shout out.
Flying
Hawaiian, Shane Victorino. What a team.
Right.
What a run. That team had no business being a wagon, but it became one.
You can become a certified wagon if you're outplaying your expectations.
Correct. Looking at you, 2024 Boston Red Sox. Stone stories this week. We're going to Ohio. Well, worst place on earth. Burger King customer in Ohio is caught on camera pointing a gun at a drive-thru employee. Police in Willowick are still searching, which just sounds made up. First off the rip. Willowick, Ohio. Come on now. Still searching for a disgruntled customer. That's an understatement. The incident happened Sunday morning at around 9 a.m. at the Burger King on Vine Street, which, to each their own, fast food breakfast is not for me. I'm barely a breakfast guy as it is. If I'm consuming breakfast other than like something quick, like a bar or something like that, the only thing I'm doing is going out for like actual breakfast and sitting down at like a diner.
Are you a Dunkin' guy though?
Not really. I'm not a coffee guy, so the only time I'd be going there really is for food, and their food's horrific.
It's fast food. It's
exactly. I don't like fast food breakfast. I don't like it.
You know what? I love fast food breakfast.
But anyway, there's the whole point here is that he's already got a strike in my book for going to Burger King at 9 a.m.
That's
sorry if I'm offending anybody in the chat, but that's
no. That's fine. Go ahead.
The suspect can be seen on surveillance video getting out of his car and pointing a gun at a 38-year-old Howard Vernon, who was working the drive-thru at the time. Another strike for Mr. Vernon. Said he was taking the customer's order 2 sausage, egg, and cheese croissants, a sausage biscuit, and hash browns. The order came out to around $8. Man in the car goes, that can't be right. It should be like $11. Howard says, I'm trying to explain to him. We had a promotion going on, and it's a little cheaper. The guy starts cussing him out, getting all out. He's like, I don't know, why do you want to pay more money? Like, it's helping out. The guy just gun right in the fucking window. Seems like a reasonable escalation of events to me. Vernon said the man threatened to kill him and called him a racial slur. Ruh-roh. To know that somebody would do something like that just because I'm trying to give you a better deal and just flip out like that. Yeah, it's kind of scary, said Vernon. He has not been back to Burger King since the incident, but he said he does plan to return. He's just got to get over the incident first. At the end of the day, it was about some bread and sausage sandwiches at 9 o'clock in the morning on Easter. And you're that mad that you put a gun in somebody's face. I don't know why people are so angry out here at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's because they live in Ohio, friend. It's because they're living in Willowick, Ohio, going to Burger King at 9 a.m. on Easter. Go be with somebody that loves you.
Toothy, I stand by my comment. That was a lot of sausage. It's too much.
It is. It is.
What's your go-to fast food place? What's your fast food place of choice not for breakfast? It's fine. For food.
For breakfast?
No, not for breakfast.
Oh, I was gonna lose my shit.
No, you're forced to eat it.
There's nothing wrong with McDonald's. It's easy. I do like Burger King. I feel like I prefer that over McDonald's. But I mean, McDonald's has way better fries though. I don't know. It's all bad, you know. I'm never like super excited about it. It's just like it's gonna be good in the moment, and then 2 minutes later, you're gonna be like, God, why'd I do that?
Toothy
Why'd I
says
pay
Taco Bell.
$11 to put poison in that? That man, I don't know.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
I'm gonna say this. You're gonna think he's 400 pounds. He's not. He's not even close. But the man,
No.
I've never seen somebody eat more Taco Bell.
That means your colon must be immune to it.
It's working overtime. I'll tell you that.
I eat Taco Bell, and it's like that's the day. Like that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I love a crunch wrap.
I hope you enjoyed that beefy quesarito or whatever the fuck you got, because it's gonna be the last one you eat for a while.
I am also a McDonald's preferrer because
I got food poisoning from Taco Bell once, and I can't like.
I also did. No, I also did.
I always have like a disdain for it. I'm like, I'll eat it if I have to. Like every once in a blue moon. I've probably gotten Taco Bell twice in the last 5 years.
There are so many things that make me happy about this comment.
They're good, but they end up soggy sometimes. They're like they're too thick.
Mom coming.
I'm not a mashed potatoes guy. And sometimes it ends up like that.
Listen, I'm a McDonald's enjoyer because I can go anywhere in the world and it's McDonald's. It's the same shit. I know what I'm gonna get, which is subpar beef product, like burgers. I know what I'm gonna get. I do prefer the Wendy's wedges for breakfast, chef's kiss. But then you have to eat like a breakfast baconator or like a croissant sandwich with sausage. I'm not into it. So
how do we feel about the square burgers at Wendy's?
I'm into it. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. I feel like I remember one person saying one time when I was younger that they didn't eat Wendy's because it was square. And I was like, that seems like a ridiculous reason to not go.
It's like I'm not eating Shreddies because they're diamonds. And it's like
that seems like seems like the thoughts of a man who goes to BK at 9 in the morning and pulls a gun on somebody.
Yeah, hey, remember that time where I committed crimes because they were giving me a deal? It happens all the time. Baseball season is in full swing. Ohio is still trash. Hey, we got to talk some NFL tonight. That was pretty fun. Don't forget to check out the Sportsocracy most days. I don't remember what the time is. Follow them on YouTube. You'll get the notifications. They are everywhere, and it's fantastic. We are going to be back Wednesday. We got the Ocho newsletter on Friday. You playing the finals again later on this week?
Probably at some point. I'll be streaming at some point.
Follow Dubs on the Twitch. He is on the Twitch at Stone Sports Podcast _ I miss.
Yep. At Stone Sports Podcast. One word.
There we go. And yeah, next week we've got baseball power rankings. You got anything else I missed?
No, I think we just about hit all of it.
Covered it all.
Fuck Kenley Jansen. If you're hurt, go on the IL. If you're not, play. How about that? That's what we missed. I was so salty about that.
How are you even giving up opening day? Also, fuck the Yankees in your early start.
I saw somebody say George Steinbrenner was rolling over in his grave seeing Marcus Stroman pitching with a do-rag for the Yankees.
Yeah, welcome to 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been it for the Ocho this
Twitter's
week. Don't forget to follow us on the socials. You can find us at Stone Sports Podcast, at Armchair Comment 2. Find us on Instagram, same spot. Follow the stream, share it out with your friends, subscribe to the newsletter. It's free. It's all free. All we ask for is your email. Subscribe.
Unless you want my betting picks, then you got to pay money.
We got betting picks. We got DFS, a little bit of premium coming up for you, but it's also not terribly expensive. For Dubs, I am AC. We'll see you next week live on the Ocho. Peace.